An anti-Ethiopian armed group has held its founding congress in a neighboring country. Which group is holding the founding congress? Secondly, Agew fighters have joined Tigray peace force. What happened? And lastly, why is that a Kenyan MP is inciting religious violence in the Horn of Africa involving Ethiopia, Djibouti, Somalia, Eritrea, and Sudan? Let's start with the news story about an anti-Ethiopian government uh, armed group which is being organized on Eritrean soil. The group has held its founding congress in Eritrea. Watch this video. This video shows the founding congress of this group. Watch the video, then we'll talk about it. Well, the people you saw in the video are Afar fighters, Afars of Ethiopia. We know they are forming an armed group backed by the Eritrean government. They are being organized on Eritrean soil. Ibrahim Usman, a former Afar regional minister who defected and entered Eritrea, is leading this Afar fighters group. Ethiopia is also backing Eritrean opposition groups. Some of these Eritrean opposition groups members are undergoing military training in Ethiopia. Eritrean Blue Revolution Front is one of such Eritrean opposition armed groups being trained in Ethiopia. So both Ethiopia and Eritrea are training proxies against each other. Luckily, the proxies have not been launched so far. I mean, Eritrean proxies are being trained by Ethiopia in the Ethiopian Afar region. So, Rasado, Red Sea Afar, Democratic Organization, Eritrean Blue Revolution Front, Eritrean Afar National Congress being trained on Ethiopian soil, while Ibrahim Usman led anti-Ethiopian government, Ethiopian armed group is being trained by Eritrean government on Eritrean soil. What will these armed men do? Obviously, they won't sit idle. I think the two sides are waiting for each other. Who will fire the first shot? Maybe this is what the two sides are waiting for. They don't want to fire the first shot. They don't want to be seen as aggressors, but they're making their preparations. Those who say, Sajid, you make up stories about Eritrea, Ethiopia tensions, no war is likely, no war is imminent. I want to tell them that we have shared with you evidence about the preparations by the two sides, by Ethiopia, Eritrea, TPF. This is what my job is. Based on the evidence, sometimes we forecast, we say it could happen in September, October, or November. But that's just a forecast, a prediction. But preparations are there. You cannot deny that. I mean, why is that Eritrea? Why is Eritrea training these Ethiopian Afars? Why is Ethiopia training Eritrean opposition fighters? What does it indicate? Should we not cover it? Should we not keep our viewers updated? Shouldn't we tell the viewers that they should be prepared? They should know what the governments are doing. So the two countries training proxies against each other. Proxies have not been launched so far, luckily. Secondly, because Agew fighters have joined Tigray peace force. TPF, we know, is mainly based in the Afar region of Ethiopia. It is a Tigray opposition armed group opposed to TPLF and Tigray military command. TPF fighters say that Agew fighters have joined them. Etakalti is the name of an Agew Shingo commander who has joined Tigray peace force. By the way, in the past, during the war, TPLF backed Agews when Agews tried to launch armed groups against Amhara regional forces and Fano groups during the war, Tigray war, when Amhara regional forces, Fano, all supported Ethiopian National Defense Force in invasion of Tigray. Back then, Tigray backed Argos and Kemets, and Argo armed group was backed by Tigray back then, especially in Wog Himra. The group has its presence. This group, it seems, has split. One faction of the group is still it still has the backing of TPL, while the other faction, disgruntled faction of Argo Shingo, led by Atakalti, has joined TPF. TPF groups have shared pictures, videos showing these Argo fighters who have joined Tigray Peace Force. Last, it was why is Farah Maalim being allowed to spread poisonous propaganda which could incite religious conflict in the Horn of Africa. Farah Maalim was one of the main supporters of Ethiopian Prime Minister during war in Tigray. He was a staunch critic of TPLF. Now he is the most visible and strongest critic of the Ethiopian PM. He criticized the Prime Minister during Ethiopia Somalia standoff last year when Ethiopia tried to implement an MOU signed between Ethiopia and Somaliland. Somalia resisted, supported by Egypt and Eritrea. Somalia launched a diplomatic campaign. Ethiopia could not implement the MOU. It backed off. Farah Maalim is a Somali. He is in Kenya. He's an MP. And back then, if you remember, Farah Maalim said that Somalis, wherever they are, they will support Hassan Sheikh in the war against Abiy Ahmed. Now, he is supporting Eritrea, it seems, in the ongoing conflict between Eritrea and Ethiopia. And he has been urging the formation of a broad regional alliance. He says that Eritrea, Djibouti, Sudan, Somalia should form a broad regional mutual defense pact. Just like Pakistan, Saudi Arabia have signed a mutual defense pact that aggression on one country will be seen as aggression on the partner. Saudi Arabia signed this agreement because it fears that Israel could conduct similar strikes on Saudi Arabia like it conducted on Qatar. So Farah Maalim tweeted 2 days ago that these countries should form a broad mutual defense pact against Ethiopia. Second part of his suggestion is alarming. He said that Ethiopian governments in the past, backed by Westerners, they have been using Muslims as a threat, portraying Muslims as a threat to the Christian and Western civilizations. Basically, these Ethiopian regimes and the one in power now, they're expansionists. That's very dangerous. I think Farah Maalim tries to play ethnic and religious cards. He's an MP. He's allowed to spread hatred in the Horn of Africa. He has every right to have his views, but he should not spread propaganda and hatred, and he should not be allowed to say such things which could promote religious and ethnic violence in the Horn of Africa. Thanks for watching.